Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my review on the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I am, well, not currently because I just got a tan recently. I went to the beach on a vacation, so I'm darker now, but usually my color is Dawn 2W1. That one here online says that it has warm golden undertones. Anyway, so by accident I used up, well, okay, let me just start again. Let me get my thoughts together for a second. Okay, I purchased the Estee Lauder Double Wear because I saw that it had amazing reviews online and a couple people recommended it, saying that it was very good for people with oily skin because it helps like retain the oils. And they told me that, you know, if that's what I was looking for, that Estee Lauder had a ton of shades and they were really true to color and it didn't oxidize. And so it came highly recommended. It retails for $42 and you get, according to online, you get 1 fluid ounce. Actually, it doesn't say fluid, so it just says ounce here. So 1 ounce. Anyway, I tried it out and by accident, I threw away the bottle. So I don't have the bottle to actually show you in this video. Sorry about that. All I have is a picture from my Ulta app, so you guys can see. This is not a new foundation, and so I'm sure that most of you watching this video are like, oh my god, Isabel, we don't live under a rock. We know exactly what that foundation bottle looks like. Get on with your review. I will. Alright, so basically I thought that foundation was great, but it's not for me. And here's why. Yes, absolutely, it matched perfectly. However, it does oxidize like a smidgen, like half a smidgen. And the reason I know that is because when I first got shade matched, I actually had to go back a second time. So they were swatching my jaw, and I didn't wait for the foundation to dry, and I was like, okay, that looks like it matched. And then when I got home and I applied the foundation, it was fine, but then when it dried, it actually was a different color. And so I actually had to go back and redo the whole thing, walk around the store, wait until it dried down, and I ended up being a different color. So I went with the color Dawn, and the foundation is great. It's not as good as the Ultra Teint foundation from Chanel that you guys know I've been raving about and I absolutely love. It's not better than this one in the sense that it's not as good at holding back my oils as the Chanel one is, even in the new formula. Another thing that I didn't like was that it didn't look cakey, but it felt cakey. I don't know if that is making any sense to you guys. It's the best way that I can describe it. It didn't look cakey. I got actually a lot of compliments wearing the foundation, but on my skin it felt very heavy, and I didn't like the fact that I had to purchase a pump. It didn't come with a pump already. That pump was $10. What am I gonna do with that pump? I'm gonna have to give it to somebody who I know that uses that foundation now. But most of my friends have dry skin, so we'll see. I tried to clean out the pump as best as I could, but I guess the pump doesn't really matter whether they have dry skin or not. They could just use it in their foundation bottle. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. Okay, so I didn't like that I had to pay an extra $10 for that pump. And so when I started to form an opinion about the foundation, all I have to say is the foundation is great. Honestly, it is not a bad formula. I just didn't like the way that it felt on my skin, and it wasn't as good at at retaining my oils as I was expecting it to be. I was expecting the same results that I got with my Chanel one, and I didn't. This Chanel formula feels more skin-like. It's much lighter. The foundation is thinner. I actually did try applying less of the Estee Lauder. So I was originally doing 1 pump on each side of my face and 1 pump for my forehead and my T-zone. And I found that I was like, okay, well, this kind of feels too thick. I'm gonna try doing half a pump, and then half a pump. That didn't work. It's just a formula itself. Like, even when I would rub it against my fingers, it felt very thick. And that was the only reason I didn't repurchase a new bottle. I just didn't like the way that it felt. Another thing that I found that I was having an issue with, even though I tried several different primers, was that after about 5 or 6 hours, I was noticing that the foundation was separating around my nose, and it was creasing a lot in this smile line here. And it just didn't matter what primer I used, it just would separate in certain areas. I do have to say the lasting power was good because I actually work out after work, and I don't take off my makeup because I simply don't have the time. Like, I change at work and then I run straight to my class because I only have 30 minutes to get there. So using a makeup wipe isn't gonna cut it. Like, I need to actually use water and soap to wash my face. I need to get all the gunk off of my face, and when I try to do it with a wipe, I feel like I'm there for a very long time and I'm only irritating my skin because not everything is coming off. So I just work out with my makeup on, and it stayed. It actually stayed the entire time. It didn't run, it didn't, you know, move. So in that aspect, it was great. But I just really, the only negative thing I have to say about that foundation is I didn't like the way that it felt on my skin, and I didn't like the way that it would separate in certain, or crease in certain areas of my face. Other than that, the foundation is amazing. Like, if you use it and it works for you, and maybe your skin is not as oily as mine, then don't fix it if it ain't broke. You know, I'm not here to try to turn you away from buying, you know, Estee Lauder Double Wear. It's actually a very good formula. It just, for me, it didn't work for me. It's not something that I would repurchase. And I was a little bit bummed about it because I was actually really looking forward to having a dupe to this foundation, because this bottle is also 1 fluid ounce, but it's $60. Every time I have to purchase this foundation, it's $60. My bank account cries every time I have to repurchase this formula. So it was pretty nice to, you know, be able to buy a foundation that was $42, you know? Mind you, I still use my Bareminerals. That's my ride or die. I'm never letting go of that foundation. And I think that foundation, I use the powder version, and it's like $32. Yes, $32, and I love it. However, it doesn't do much for my oils, if any at all. It doesn't do anything for my oils. So, but I know that when I buy it. The reason I love Bareminerals is because it's good for your skin. It's healthy. It feels like you're not wearing makeup. And although I love this foundation and it feels skin-like, you do still feel like you're wearing something, you know, because, you know, this foundation is high coverage. So you're gonna feel like you're wearing something, but it doesn't feel heavy. It feels more skin-like. It actually, I feel like this foundation, you don't get like full coverage right away. I feel like it's a medium to full, and you can build it up. With the Estee Lauder, the only option you have is full. And I can't complain about it because that's what it's advertised as, is full coverage foundation. But when I was looking at the reviews that kind of felt like, oh, well, maybe they were saying it was a little bit, I'm sorry, it was similar to this. And I thought, oh, well, that's gonna be great because it's gonna be cheaper. I won't have to spend so much money on the Chanel foundation. But I ended up, you know, not liking it. I did give it a fair shot. I'm not saying that I'll never purchase that foundation again, you know, if I'm in a pinch, you know, things happen. But as of right now, I don't see myself repurchasing that one. And that's just my honest opinion on that foundation, and those are my complete thoughts on the overall review of this foundation. Like I said, if it works for you, don't do anything else. Like, it works for you. But if you are somebody who really, like, I have oily skin, but I find that in my T-zone my oils are very heavy, then maybe you might not like it. So Ulta doesn't give you samples of that foundation, so if you're thinking about buying it, I would say get a sample from Sephora. Sephora does do samples. But yeah, I tried to go into Ulta to get a sample of the foundation, and they told me that they don't do that. So I would try any counter at Macy's or Bloomingdale's or Nordstrom or Neiman Marcus, whatever you got near you, and get a sample from them before you actually invest on the full bottle and see if it works for you. But anyway, guys, that completes this video. I hope that you guys had a wonderful 4th of July, and see you next time. Bye.